Coming up on this episode of Swing Nation, we've got great conversation following our piece on copycat routines. Ben Yao tells us how to do competitions, why social dancers are killing salsa. Swing Nation episode 55 starts now.
Hit that jive, close the door, get the carpet off the floor. Swing Nation,
people grooving together.
Truck on down, pimp your stroll, put some jelly on that roll. Swing Nation,
people grooving together.
This episode of Swing Nation is sponsored by Joe Smith and the Spicy Pickles. Fresh out of the studio, Joe Smith and the Spicy Pickles will be releasing their new EP, Rocky Mountain High, in June. This EP features Michael Faltasek of Faulty and the Defects on guitar and vocals with 6 tracks for you to swing out to. Like Joe Smith and the Spicy Pickles on Facebook to keep up to date on release details and hear tasty samples of the EP before it's released. This album is sponsored by Lindy on the Rocks, held in Denver, Colorado, every July and August. Hey, welcome to Swing Nation, episode 55. We are at the last show of the season. The season went so fast.
Yep.
Incredible. Yep. Is that all you got?
That's all I got.
Okay. Wow.
Yep.
You heard it here first, folks.
As always, I am Rickomatic, joined by...
I'm sometimes Zucker Punch.
Sometimes
not
Zucker
always.
Punch. All the time Spuds. Full-time Spuds.
Full times.
We've got a great show for you for the last season. Not
the last season. Last show.
Last show of the season.
Don't worry, we're coming back.
We are coming back, absolutely. We have a good bit of feedback, actually, which is awesome. Actually,
We have
people are
lots of
watching
stuff.
the show and responding to it.
What?
Which is crazy. I know you don't like to think about people watching us, but people actually watch us.
Whatever, people can watch Peter Strom, I'm fine with that.
Exactly.
Just can't watch me.
People are watching right now. So one person who did watch was Nala Kim from Korea.
Yeah.
In response
awesome.
to episode 53, where we had Anamoni on and we were talking about copycat routines. And so he had an interesting thing to say. So go and look at episode 53 if you want the backstory. But so he writes to us and says, he said, "Hey, my friends, I just watched the show. What do you think? I just watched a show about copying performances. I agree with you. Choreography is kind of artwork itself. So the best work for own choreography and need permission at least." I'm going to help clean this up a little bit. Just want to explain something about the system here. Almost 2 communities have 2-month courses. So the communities have 2-month courses that are like Jitterbug Beginner and Intermediate. Every 2 months, the students make a group do a performance. And so apparently they chose that particular performance to specifically copy so the group can learn to do, obviously, some performing. He mentions that, let's see, I'll spread and share this topic with Korean dancers to try and change, their minds, stuff like that. And he puts some other stuff in there. He also mentions that I remember Nala when he was in my class. Me and Evita, we taught a class at Swing at New Hampshire. He was in one of the top level performing class, like the 4Bs or something like that. Mm-hmm.
Squirrels.
The squirrels, right.
Squirrel.
And Evita Arce and I put together a routine, and they liked it, so they asked us if they could go back and teach it. We said, "Oh yeah, we're honored. That's great. We did this routine so you could study and learn and teach." I just want to reflect back on the emphasis of our chat last time about copycat routines is that you need to get permission, or it's great to get permission. If you can't get permission, it's great to say, these are the people who did, this is the original choreography from such and such. I still agree, it's never cool to steal, ever. I don't care how old the clip is or how young the clip is. It's not cool to just take it and then say it's yours, because that's what you're doing.
Or even not say anything at all, which is
Right.
saying that it's yours by omission.
By omission, exactly. It's like absence of knowledge is just as bad. There was also, so Nala, I want to say thank you so much, because he is a very important person in his scene in Korea, and he's a teacher, he's a choreographer, and people are going to listen. And thank you so much, Nala, for your input.
People actually are listening. So if you go to the thread on Facebook, and I can't remember if it's public or not, where Nala posts it. There's like all these other Korean dancers who are then now having a conversation about it because someone important from their scene brought it up. Like it's one thing for us to talk about it. It's another thing for, people outside. But when your own community is saying, you know what, guys, this is kind of serious. We need to pay attention to it. Like that holds a lot more water. So thanks, Nala, for getting that conversation going in Korea. And we look forward to hearing more from Koreans actually about your perspectives on like using other people's work. We had someone else who also commented, right?
We did. We have someone comment on the Yehoodi.com website.
What?
Remember that one?
People talk on you.
Yeah. People talking on Yehoodi.
Wait, Yehoodi's a website?
It's not just a Facebook group?
We get called SwingNation all the time.
Really?
Yeah. It's like someone calling my son or calling me my son all the time. Hey, you're Micah's dad. Hey, Micah's dad. How do you say this name here, though?
Arcea?
Arcea.
Sure.
Arcea had an interesting comment on Yehoodi.com. Says, aren't all the well-known routines such as the Shim Sham, Big Apple, California routine also copycat routines? When does it become okay to copy a routine? It seems like it's okay to copy the swing era routines. How about more recent ones? I've seen several versions of 24 Robbers performed. Guess that's still fine since everybody knows who choreographed it. If it's performed at a Lindy Hop event, how famous a routine has to be? How famous does a routine have to be before you can copy it? Well,
Thank you for editing that. It was breaking my brain to read.
Well, so here's the thing. I'm not speaking for everyone, but I'm not saying they don't share the same, idea that stealing anything is not cool, ever. That being said, you mentioned these routines that were kind of crafted from the beginning to be quote-unquote stolen, or at least everyone should be able to do them.
Right.
So we're talking about the Shim Sham, we're talking about the California routine, even the Lindy chorus, Tranky Do.
You can go out there and perform doing the jive anywhere you want, as far as I'm concerned, because it's been put out there as a line dance for everyone to participate in and to learn everywhere they go and bring with them and perform. I mean, I still think that you should attribute and say this is the original choreographer. But, I mean, you can do that. It's sort of like saying this is open source. Just go and have fun with it, as opposed to... I actually don't think it's okay to perform 24 Robbers without asking Sky and Frida and then crediting them when you perform it and making sure that if it's up on YouTube that it's in the notes somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
We have some
I don't care
examples,
how famous it is.
Right. So, Sarah?
What?
Arcea?
Arcea.
I assume. I mean, it's kind of like, Evita's last name. And then...
Oh, that's right. Thank you. Arcea. Puts up some really good examples. Now, so this person mentions 24 Robbers, a routine that was by Sky and Frida at ULHS 2007. Let's just take a really quick look at some of that. Now, it just so happens that 24 Robbers happens to be the name of the song, too. And it's typical for a performance to just be called the name of the song, right? Mm-hmm. And this is, I'm making this distinction because it's important to my argument. Okay, so that's Sky and Frida. I watched that clip all the way through again because
I know.
they're
You can't not watch the whole thing.
Good.
Right now, I was like, keep playing it.
Yeah, that's one of the formative pieces of my appreciation of choreographed Lindy Hop.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
It's so good. Okay, so here's another one that this person posted. Copy with credit. This is on YouTube. Notice the credit right at the top, Sky and Frida. And there's also comments in the thread that says they got permission from Sky and Frida. I almost thought that Sky and Frida were there. Now, I'm not saying it's, I'm not saying it's okay in this case, but I see what the context is. It looks like they said, hey guys, would you mind if we did your routine and we're going to perform it? And it looks like this is a performance at a dance, and everyone's really clear that this is not their routine, but someone else's that they're paying homage to. Mm-hmm. All right? Cool. Then we have one more example of a clip that's on YouTube called 24 Robbers. Let me take a look. So this is posted on YouTube, just 24 Robbers. In the comments, it says the two people's names, I don't remember their names, blah, 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 and blah, 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 doing 24 Robbers. That's it.
No attribution.
No attribution.
No, they didn't ask permission as far as we know.
No, nothing.
They just posted it.
So besides the fact that I'll be honest, I'm not interested in watching them doing it because they're not doing it very well. Maybe they're learning. I don't know what the context of this is at all.
But it looks like it's a performance. It doesn't look like they're just practicing in their bed.
Well, the suspenders and the tie. Yes,
they're not like just like doing it at home or like and here's a cool routine we're showing you like it's like looks like probably an audience.
Obviously, well, my problem is obviously they saw it somewhere to copy it completely,
Right.
And maybe they saw it from Sky and Frida. So maybe you should be like, hey, this is a performance that we did. We're trying to recreate Sky and Frida's routine. You know, that's it.
Even if you didn't see, like, give them the benefit of the doubt, maybe their version they saw wasn't credited. You should have the responsibility to, like, contact the person who posted the clip that you saw and say, hey, whose choreography is this?
Yeah.
So you can follow up and make it happen. I don't think there's any excuse. I mean, even with pieces that are really old, like, let's say only one person is still alive, you still have to contact that person.
Yeah.
And if there's no one left alive from it, then you still have to attribute it properly.
Right, and that's the thing about the Big Apple, because this person mentions, what can you copy the Big Apple? I mean, first of all, I'm assuming you're talking about the Big
Apple, I guess, is the one Frankie put together.
The Frankie choreography called the Big Apple that was in, I think, Keep Punchin'. I'm not sure, because Big Apple is just the dance of
and it was called.
It's called.
And so it was different every time.
Yeah.
And so like it ended up being codified because we sort of
version.
like we learned this one version, but it's not just that one, it's any number of them. So yeah, perform that too if you want to.
But if you're performing the one we think you're talking about, which is the Frankie choreography, I still want to see you say, we're performing Frankie Manning's choreography of the Big Apple. There's no way to get out of that. It's just not cool. You can't just be like, I'm going to sneak this on YouTube and hope people... Yeah. And it's especially bad if you're now making money off it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think probably the only case in which it'd be okay is if there's like some really obscure clip and you cannot find out the name of the dancers, the choreographer, or anything, and you put it out there and say, like, I can't find out this information, but I performed it. If you can find out the information, give it to me and I will happily credit it.
Yeah. Right. You know who's really good at doing that kind of enforcement is the tap community. Like if you do, like there's like there are steps that are still that, you know, the person who created that step has been dead for a very, very long time. And if you do that step and you can't name the step and you can't name who made that step, like you've done a disservice. Like they actually really want you to know, like, you know, oh, this step is, you know, this is a, you know, a step by so-and-so and like whatever. So like they really, the historicity of tap moves is actually really well enforced in the community,
right?
Which is really interesting. It's like you can't do the dance unless you know who created each of these steps, which is, you know, obviously not exactly where we're going with Lindy Hop, but, you know, they go that far in that direction.
I would love to see that direction.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a little push in that direction.
Yeah.
So
I still attribute things all the time. Like, I don't know, fish out of water, I think. Every time I do that, I attribute, like, Camille Fontanella and Marc-Andre Vachon, because they were the ones who, like, I think came up with it and showed it to me.
Nice.
It's a ridiculous step, but, you know, every time I'm still like, attribution, citation.
Alrighty, so we just wanted, so this is the last show before Frankie 100. We just wanted to give you a
little note event. Not sure if you've heard of it.
Small little
something. That's 95 on your shirt.
3 or 4 people. Oh yeah, I got the 95 going on here. We just want to give you an idea what to expect at the Frankie 100 live broadcast. So we're really honored to be partnering with the Frankie 100 folks to be bringing to you. So we're going to be broadcasting Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The event is much longer, actually, but those are sort of the main nights when a lot of stuff's happening. So some things you can look forward to: about 4 hours of broadcast every evening, New York time. And on Friday, for example, we're going to be broadcasting the opening ceremony. We're going to be showing Wycliffe Gordon. It's amazing they got him.
Cool.
And his band. Saturday, we have this really awesome presentation that Leonard has put together on remembering Frankie.
Leonard Westerlund.
We just got confirmation that we're going to be able to show George G performing Wednesday Night Hop while the whole crowd of, probably like thousands of people doing the Lindy chorus.
I got to remember that dance.
I think I watched video of you.
Yeah, exactly. You taught it.
That's
me and
what
Nicole
I learned
Friedman.
from.
Right. Yeah. So I'll be watching me and Nicole Friedman do that again.
to learn it from yourself. That's
To
so
learn
weird.
from myself.
Also Saturday, we'll be showing video from the Apollo show on Thursday. So if you're not able to be at Frankie 100, or if you were there and you want to see it again, you can see us broadcasting it again on Saturday. And then lastly, Sunday, of course, is the big night. That's the countdown to Frankie's actual birthday, May the 26th. We're going to have George Webster and friends.
Gordon Webster.
Gordon Webster.
Sorry about that. And then the Hells of Poppin' Dance Contest Finals will be really exciting. And then there's the actual countdown to Frankie. I'm sure there's a lot of other stuff that's planned that they haven't told us about.
Do we have to do a countdown?
It's like New Year's.
Do we have to do graphics for that?
Oh, that's all you're worried about is like assets that we have to create.
That's all I'm thinking about right now.
No,
He's always worried about his assets. You know, Spud.
The assets look fine.
Do my assets look all right in these jeans?
We'll just show live from the floor. It'll be
Not
fine.
funny.
It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. So yeah, plan on watching if you can't be at Frankie, and host a local party because it's a lot more fun to watch it at home. I think I can say this now. The provider we're going to be using will allow you not only to watch on your iPhone, not only on your Android device, but on your Roku player on your television. So if you have a Roku, you could just switch over to the live stream station and watch it on your television. So it's going to be super awesome.
Cool.
Sweet. So if you're going to that and you're going to be in the Hells of Poppin' competition, you may want to take a little gander at our next bit. Ben Yao and kind of by association, Sherry, break down for us how they judge competitions and how this can help your Lindy Hop. Mm-hmm. So if you take a little look-see at it, you can get the link in the show notes.
I
I'm
love
sure.
the URL, geekswing.com.
Geek Swing.
I mean,
Got
someone
that.
had to have it, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be like one of the most coveted things. So he breaks it down into technique, timing, and teamwork as like the three basic values, which is fine, but I think that's fundamentally lacking an element of creativity that I think is really important. So like maybe at the beginner level, you're looking mostly for, can this person swing out? But I feel like...
Is it only TTT, the three T's?
He said those are the things that you judge on. And then when you get to like the super advanced levels, then you start to think about things that are more particular to your aesthetic that you want to promote. But that in general, it's those three T's. And I found that a little limiting, especially as like a social dance that's like fundamentally creative in nature, not even like putting the creativity of it as one of the basic tenets of like what dance should be.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I didn't get a chance to read the whole thing, but usually when I used to judge, the three T's was a starting point. But it didn't stop anywhere. So I was just wondering if, he's thinking more about that's a good starting point. But every level that I ever judged, there was more above that. There was more to it. So I didn't just so timing, timing, technique, and teamwork. And then I was like, there's my score. I kind of put little stars. I remember putting, so for timing was always the top of the list for me. Because if you're not dancing to the music, I'm done with you. I'm kind of next couple. So I'd see that. Then I'd go teamwork. That would be the second for me. And then the third would be technique. And then that puts you in a different group that goes, okay, now I'm going to judge all the other things you're talking about, creativity, improvisation, fun. How do you look? If you're dancing like this, I'm really worried about you. You know? And you're evoking an emotion in me, which is worry, which is not what I want to give first place. I don't want, unless you're swinging out on a tightrope and over Shark Tank. Yeah.
That's your character in the dance. Come on.
Anyway.
Wow.
It seemed to me like the 3 T's were the things that mattered, and that other things would become relevant in like tiebreaker situations only. He also goes through a description of how relative placement and stuff works and how like voting works and everything.
Yeah.
And I fundamentally think that I disagree with relative placement. So it's really interesting to see it laid out and see how.
Do you really?
I don't necessarily think that it's the best way. I don't know what
a better way would be.
What the best way is. I actually don't know what other options are out there.
Right. Man, we had Sylvia on last week, but we could not talk to her for very long, so we wouldn't be able to ask her.
Yeah, I'd be super interested in Sylvia's thoughts about things. But I feel like, I could go on about this. But it's really nice to see relative placement like laid out and like here is how it works.
Yeah. You know, I speaking to Sylvia in Harangue last year, I remember she agrees with your sentiment about relative placement not being the best, but it's all we have right now. So, yeah.
Maybe I'll have to find another algorithm.
Could be. You're a coder.
Hilda! I've invented an algorithm. So many geek references at once. You get so many points if you get all of them.
It was hardcore, girl.
What?
Got to get Dorian Summer inventing.
That's true.
I mean, if they can solve like organ transplants, why can't they solve placements in dance competitions?
Yeah.
Not quite as important, but still, it'd be cool.
Well,
one other thing I thought was really interesting about this piece was that it seems to value performance ability really highly, and that is actually not something that I value at all. There's a really great section in here on knowing that with some judges, you're just probably not going to do well. They value things that you don't value. They don't really appreciate as much the things that you think are the most important. And you just have to know that, like, going into this, I'm probably not going to do well, but I'm going to do my dance to the best of my ability and put myself out there representing what I think is important. And I think that's, like, probably the best takeaway of this article.
Cool.
That's something that I only just came to in, like, the last year or so. So it's like, oh, duh. Everyone else knows this.
Well, I love Ben. Ben used to give me help on Yehoodi when I couldn't figure out how to do server-side stuff. Unix Sky, 18 years. Lindy Hopper, 12 years. Dream Hubby, 9 years. Proud Papa.
Dream Hubby.
Is that really?
That's really on there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And a supremely awesome bad joke teller. Thank you so much, Ben, for that post. And maybe we'll have him on sometime. We'll talk a little further about this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'd love to like have some conversation in the community about how judging happens, how we can, hey, if anyone wants to invent something better than relative placement. And I want people to realize what Sylvia was saying, that like if this judge doesn't fancy your dancing, that doesn't mean anything. You just go out there and you dance.
So somebody who calls themselves the Dancing Irishman wrote a blog post.
And he's not doing Irish dancing.
Not.
No, which is weird. I was like, am I on the right site? He did a blog post.
They dance other things in Ireland besides jigs.
It's a great last show. Why social dancers, quote unquote social dancers, are killing salsa.
Are quote unquote killing salsa. No, that's not really. That's just in our show notes.
Yeah.
Okay. So literally killing salsa. Taking an implement of destruction to salsa.
Well, so this is an extensive blog post about why Ba dancers are destroying his dance. Yeah, that's his dance scene. Yeah, sheep, Ba. So Ba, B-A-H.
Oh.
That stands for what? Basic and happy?
Okay.
Somewhere, yeah, Ba dancer. He's got...
That would destroy the dance.
I'm more interested in hearing her make a sheep impersonation than talking about this thing. It's kind of weird. So he's got these graphs and stuff, but basically...
No, I sound like a porpoise.
I'll sum it up for you, people. he says that there are certain dancers who go out and they want to learn and they want to get better. And then there's certain dancers who are happy hitting a below mediocrity level of dancing just because of the social element. And they're happy. They can go out, they can dance a little bit, they can be social, done. And he says the problem is when there's a proliferation of all these Bah dancers who are happy being less than mediocre, and that's the populace of your dance scene, that your dance scene will suffer and die. And die, like killing die. Is that a good summation or is it terrible?
That's pretty good.
He's got these graphs. He's like, oh, here's the skill level of a great dancer. And it goes up. The skill goes up as the time invested goes up. And then there's the Bah dancers who reach a certain skill level. There you go. Reach a certain skill level. And then they just don't bother getting better over time.
Okay, so obviously we have some feels about this that we need to air. So anecdotally, in Boston, there's a group of dancers who reached a certain level of proficiency and said that they just don't want to work on things more, that they just want to enjoy it. This was fine unless they start saying that those who want to pursue dance further are elitist or missing the spirit of the dance, or there's something wrong with them. It's fine to just be okay with where your skill level is. In fact, I think probably more of us should be okay where we are, even if we want to get better. Mm-hmm. But the problem comes when you start dissing on other groups, like this guy is doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not on board with you. I'm sorry.
I think you just nailed it. I think you nailed why I got frustrated when I read this, because I wasn't feeling like I was really reading anything constructive. He's putting graphs and shit all over the place. I don't care. I think you're just pissed. And on one level, you're always, when you have a popular dance or a popular scene, you're going to have a level of, the greatest people are going to be here.
Yeah, it's a pyramid. You know, there's the base of the pyramid, the biggest group is those with the least amount of skill. Because it takes time to acquire skill, right. And for many reasons, there are just going to be fewer people at the top than there are at the bottom.
Right.
And hey, if you have a whole scene full of dancers, then at least you have dancers in your scene. That's so much more than a lot of other places can say.
Yeah. So I mean, I think there's a central argument that if you have too many mediocre dancers, that it's going to lead to your scene never growing and getting better, which is kind of a weird statement to me. It's if you have a lot of people who are just kind of good, but you're doing something that's skill based where you could get better, you're like, oh my god, this follow is amazing, I want to dance like her, or this guy is doing this move I don't know how to do, I want to get that so that I look impressive, and that other people, whatever your motivation is, it's not oh, I'm mediocre and everyone's mediocre and we're all happy. There's always going to be people who want to look better or want to strive to do better or just feel better about themselves. So if you have a lot of people who are doing it, there's going to be a lot of people who are also more people who are trying to get better at it. I have a hard time seeing this we have way too many people who are just, average or below average, and therefore that takes down our dance. I don't know.
It's possible that the overall quality of a swing out in your scene on average would be lower. Who cares?
Exactly.
As long as everyone's having a good time, and if a new dancer comes into the scene and wants to be better and has the opportunity to do so, then I think that's kind of fine.
Yeah.
Maybe we're missing some of the point of what he's saying, but that's what I was able to glean.
Yeah. So the reason we mentioned this, by the way, is because it had been making the circles in a lot of different salsa forums, as well as Lindy Hop communities have been sharing it on their Facebook pages and discussing it. So we thought it was relevant to bring up to you guys if you have a thought about mediocre dancers in your scene, if those are helpful or hurting your scene.
Yeah. Hey, Jim, real quick, cut to my screen. He posted this little thing here. Do you suck? Then do something about it. I don't even know why he put that in there.
I actually don't understand that at all.
No.
What does that photo have to do with sucking?
Nothing.
I've totally done a faceplant trying to be awesome. And there's a whole classroom of 40 people who can verify that that's happened.
You want to end this season with some happy videos?
Yeah. Let's do a happy
Oh, did
video.
I just do that with the word happy?
You
I
just
I want
told-
miserable videos. Give me miserable videos.
Yeah, I want suffering. No, let's get happy. So for those of you who don't know, we of course have talked a lot about the Happy Pharrell video phenomenon, which also featured a number of Lindy Hoppers, some of whom we've talked about on the show. But this now is like a worldwide phenomenon where cities are posting just scenes of people dancing to that song, and it's just and what's crazy is like when you post that video, if it's like Beirut or London or whatever, you get like tens of thousands of views or hundreds of thousands of views of your video. So
People very sad that they're not watching a Pharrell video. Is that what you
they
mean?
like watch for 2 seconds, man, and they click away, but that's still a view. No, I don't know.
I mean,
Anyway,
they'd probably make it like a full minute before they realize, like, oh,
Yeah.
this
Wait a
might.
minute,
this
The
is not-
production values are a little lower than I expected for a professional
you
music
guys.
Where's the clock?
come
How
on.
come I can't scrub? Okay, go ahead. Let's
Anyway,
go. No, this one's good.
This one's good. This one's good. So some Lindy Hoppers posted their happy video from London, and we thought we'd show you just a little bit of it.
video. Who's not happy in London?
Look how sunny it is. Is that really London?
Yeah.
London has sunny days. Seattle has sunny
Yeah, they did that
days.
post.
They had one sunny day. There's Cat.
Yeah.
Hey, that makes me happy.
Although it makes me a little nuts that it doesn't exactly.
Yeah.
Because I know Kat would not have done that.
Here come bad news, talking this and that.
That's cute. That's really cute.
Give me all you got.
You know, and a lot of work goes into this. A lot of work goes into this.
Probably warn you, I'll be
Hey.
just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like
Without a roof. 'Cause
So good on those guys out in
so
London. Happy London dancers. Thank you so much for your contribution to the happy
Yeah.
cause.
Raggy doll.
Submitted by Raggy Doll.
Back it up. Thank you.
Yeah.
What else? We got time for maybe 2 more. We'll make this a little longer.
Okay. Maybe let's do this Twice Blessed dance scene. This is from Morgan. We haven't done a video from Morgan in a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This was the Charleston routine?
No, that one comes later.
No, twice blessed.
Twice
Morgan.
Blessed. Oh, I think that they're both
They're
Charleston.
both from
routines.
Morgan. Yeah. Morgan Day sends
Captain
us
Morgan.
As opposed to Morgan Knight.
Morgan Knight. He drives the car Kit. Let's look at the video.
Quick, get us out of here.
It's great. I actually have this movie.
I want a skirt that moves like that.
I want to see a recreation of this.
I'm sure the Lithuanians will do it.
Yeah.
Oh, the Lithuanians.
Probably like an 8-year-old.
There you go. Kill you, chat.
Back onto the still. What? Ain't no thing.
And done.
Cool. So yeah, that's from the movie Twice Blessed. Thanks for the contribution, Morgan. Do you want to do another one?
The
or-
Charleston one?
Let's do the Charleston one.
Okay.
This is actually from Kylie. This is from the movie Tea for Two in 1950.
Yep. There's filmed in, was it color?
Technicolor?
Technicolor. Yeah. Those are some high kicks for Charleston. Yes.
This is like the thing that everyone does to this song.
That particular Charleston.
Yeah.
Pretty legs. Aw.
And we're out of
So
the
what's
pretty
the name of the
ladies.
person who does the sound effect, like Foley artist?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I love that in like dance clips like this. Where
There's
it's
some
like,
guy
who's doing like the
person.
clicks
Yeah.
of ladies' heels.
That used to drive me crazy because you can tell it's a Foley stage.
Yeah,
It's just like,
it's hilarious.
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore, right?
no, they still do use Foley stages for things. Yeah. Yeah.
There's still a guy whose job it is. Well, they do that with computers now, right?
No,
No.
we got real Foley artists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not everything is in computer.
What?
I like to imagine that there's like someone backstage, like in Monty Python, with like two halves of a
coconuts.
coconut going.
Oh no, they didn't do that backstage. They did that on the screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, but now it's backstage because you can't
Oh,
see
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
All right. Looks like we got to be done.
All right. So we should segue out, right?
Yeah, we should like thank all the wonderful
gosh.
guests that we've had
Absolutely.
this season. So thank you, Nirav, Ann Moni, Peter Strom, Sylvia Sykes, Joel Plythe, Nick Williams, Shiny B, Bobby White, Kevin Stolorent, and Miss Jo Hoffberg, the inimitable Miss Jo Hoffberg.
Yes.
Wow. We had an amazing
Cram
season.
them all in. Nice.
This is. I hope you guys appreciate the work that we've done for you.
Yes.
This has been action-packed.
Yes, man. Oh,
You don't call, you don't write. We do these guests for you.
they're there. They're there.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. So this is the end, but we'll be back for another season. So in the meantime, you can contact us and tell us what you think and who you want to see more of.
You know what's... Oh, keep going.
So email us, news@yehoodi.com. You can contact us on Facebook at SwingNation TV. You can get to us on Twitter at Yehoodi, at Spuds, Zucker Punch, Rick-O-Matic, or you can dial us on the telephone, 201-984-SHOW. That's 201-984-7469.
And we got a call.
What?
We did.
We got a phone.
I'm not going to play it because it was my mom. My mom was complaining that I guess Micah got mentioned on the show, and she wants to know what his job is.
What Mike's job is?
Yeah, what my son's job is. So I was supposed to come up with some bit where I gave him a job. Mom, he's 4. Go ahead.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you next season. And obviously, check these guys out on Frankie 100 Weekend.
Bye.
See you guys.
See ya.
All around the planet, gates are in the groove. Don't have to understand it, you just have to move. Truck on down